I found this nice little puddle under my 210. Turns out it is hydraulic fluid, so I get to look into this again. Let's see what we got.
Before we get started, I just want to give a quick reminder that I now have a Facebook page for the channel. So if you like this channel, please go ahead, check out the Facebook page, maybe like that. I'll be posting sneak peeks of whatever I do on there, just any random things that I get into. I also have links on there to my eBay page. So please feel free, check that out.
Okay, so pretty much what I got in here, and sorry for all the fuzziness, that's from cottonwood tree seeds floating around in the summertime. It's really annoying. But essentially that tube down there that has the hose clamps on it, there's a fitting down right there. It's like a little 90-degree, and then another black hose that goes up to the reservoir here. That's for the hydraulic fluid. I fixed this, or I thought I fixed it before. I thought it was leaking out of a fitting down there on the pump. That little 90 right there going to the pump. There's a little plastic fitting, barbed fitting that goes into that hose. Well, it turns out this hose, the setup that's on it, isn't how this would have been from the factory or how it should have ever been repaired before. So I'm gonna pull that out. I'm assuming there's probably something wrong with the hose somewhere or the fitting. So we're gonna pull this out and repair it the correct way per the parts catalog and things like that, with the actual part that's supposed to go there. And it's actually gonna remove 2 of the 4 hose clamps from this setup. Okay, so per the parts catalog, some of the, I guess, original parts or whatever are obsolete. So as a substitute to do this repair now, you would get this part. So it is T64688. It's a piece of tube. It's pretty good size. It's pretty thick walled. I guess you could just go to a hardware store, probably buy some coolant line hose or something, or like some bigger fuel line hose if you can get it this big. I don't know, but essentially I was seeing they weren't, like, a lot of them that I was seeing online, because I was trying to get it cheap, because so this part is like $44-$45. So I was trying to get it cheaper, or something that would work cheaper, and everything I could find was saying that it's not necessarily suited for hydraulic fluid or anything like that. I don't know how important it really is, but I figured I'll just buy the part. So I waited until, you know, I had some spare money I could buy it with, got this part, and gonna put it on now. But essentially I'm only gonna be cutting a section of it for what I need, so I'll have a bunch left over if it ever gives me a problem again. So yeah, so we'll look over at the tractor. I'm gonna start removing some stuff and see if we can't get this leak fixed up. My first bit of business is removing this upper hose so I can drain all the fluid. They just put regular transmission fluid in here, which I want to say you're actually able to do. I don't think it says you can't do that in the owner's manual. I would really like to get it all swapped out for hy-gard just because. However, it's not really the biggest deal in the world. But anyway, there was 0 pressure on this hose clamp, so I think that's the reason this was leaking. So honestly, I could probably fix this just by cleaning everything up, tightening that up. But I'm just gonna replace it, since that's not the right type of hose. I'd rather get the right thing on there, have less opportunities for things to go wrong in the future. Alrighty, so I got the hose off the reservoir itself. Now I gotta get the bottom part of it off of that fitting that goes to the pump. Hopefully I don't make too much of a mess doing this. I actually made way less mess than I thought I would getting this off of the reservoir in the first place. So that's pretty good. Sorry you can't see a whole lot. I'm trying to do this without removing the battery.
If it comes to it, I'll remove the battery. I know it's easy to do, I just really don't feel like it. Okay, and I'm gonna move my drip pan for this one because I have a feeling I'm probably not gonna catch any of the fluid that comes out of the bottom side of this tube when I pull this off. So it's just gonna have to make a mess. Okay, so I got that repair tube that was in there out. Now I'm just trying to clean up what I can. I didn't make near the mess that I thought I was, so I'm pretty happy about that. However, I do still have quite a bit of fluid laying in there, just from what came out before I was able to get my finger over the tube to keep fluid from coming out. I'm just trying to soak that up with some oil soak up pads here as best I can without taking this thing completely apart. There's probably no way that I would get all of it, but I'm gonna do the best I can for now. And this is the monstrosity that I pulled out of there. This is just like some sort of cast fitting. God knows how old that is. This is the end that was down near the pump, and then this was the end that was up near the reservoir. As I said, it didn't appear to have too much pressure on this hose clamp, so I'm willing to bet that played a part in this leaking. Also, it looks like there's some cracking in the tube there. Doesn't look like it has too much anywhere else, but who knows. This definitely leaves a lot more opportunities for leaks though when you have splices and stuff in it like this. So on the bright side, being it's like this, I at least know about how long I'm going to have to make my new section of tube. So I'm going to get that unwrapped and get this kind of cleaned up. That way I'm not making more of a mess as I'm trying to create a new tube. All right, so we got our new tube. Again, I mean, I would probably be able to get like, I don't know, maybe 3 good repairs like this done using this hose. There's quite a bit here. I'm going to cut this pretty close to where it would end up being for there. So if I bend that right about here, so just put a little cut in it there, get this out of the way and then finish it. But hopefully this does the trick. And there we go. One new tube. So I got plenty left. I mean, I guess it's kind of worth it, you know. Figure how much would this part cost if you were buying just the tube as opposed to buying enough to do like 3 or 4 of them. So if you can find a tube like this, let me give you some measurements. That way, if you guys have more availability for parts and stuff than I do, you might be able to find a tube like this. So it is just under 1 inch outside diameter. Let's see. It's about 7/8, so 7/8 outside diameter. And then the inside, it's not the most round in the world. It's a 5/8 inside diameter. So that's the size of the tube if you're trying to find it, not ordering it by the John Deere part. So yeah, I'm gonna go put this back on. I'm gonna use, these were what I'm assuming is the original clamps that came off of it. I just cleaned them up. I'm gonna put these back on though.
So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm not gonna try to get in there. I didn't have to take the battery out, so there's not a whole heck of a lot to see. The only reason I'm doing this is just to more so show you this tube and the part number and that sort of thing. Give you the measurements for it, just so that if anyone ever has to replace one of these, there's a video. All right, so just to try to show you the replaced line now, you can see I just got one fitting down there, one fitting up top. Looks pretty good. Got a little bit of cleaning up to do in there still and on the underside, but all in all, should be good to go now. Now I just gotta fill the reservoir back up and should be ready to rock. All right, we're all hooked up, so now I'm just gonna fill up the reservoir. Now, the owner's manual is, if I remember correctly, it only tells you a couple different fluids to put in here. However, when you look at the actual service manual, it gives a chart with a lot more options. So one of them being hy-gard, like I'm putting in right now. I'm not putting in the low vis, it's just regular hy-gard. But there's a number of different things, so I'll put that in the video here so you can see it. So you have a lot of options, I think, depending on your operating temperature, things like that. You're not really limited to just one type of fluid. And there we are, filled up. Hopefully now I have, oh, wrong cap. Hopefully now I'll have a higher ratio of hy-gard to whatever other fluid was in there. I'd like to get it all hy-gard, but I don't really feel like ripping this thing completely apart to the point where I can fully drain everything. It's just not really worth the time at this point. If I ever get bored again during a winter time and feel like ripping it all apart, pulling the whole hydraulic system out, then maybe, but for right now I'll just keep trying to replace it as I run into leaks. And that is my video for swapping out that hydraulic hose if you need to. It's not a pressure hose, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Of course, relieve pressure for the machine before you do any hydraulic work. But it's really not that specific of a line. It actually had some marking on that hose that said like fuel line or whatever. So realistically, like if you can find some rubber fuel line or whatever, that's gonna be fine. I don't think there's anything specific for hydraulics. But yeah, it's just another little installment on the journey with the 210. Like I said, I'm not gonna do anything crazy and go by steps or anything like that for anything I do on the 210, unless I really get into some sort of rebuild or something like that. That'll be a little bit different. But dealing with these little problems here and there, it's just not worth it really on an old machine. This is more for you guys who are watching this because you don't like the cost of a new mower. So you do some research and find out that buying an old mower like this is more worth it than buying like a new 100 series or something like that. So when you do that and you run into these little problems, that's what I'm here trying to help out with. Just showing these little things. Stuff like that, like it's not worth it to get in there and show you like how I remove a hose clamp or pull a hose off of a fitting. Like it's just not worth seeing. It's not like something on the newer tractors where I'm going in and removing things and you want to see every step of the way so you know what you're getting into. Something like this, like they're a lot more easy to work on than any of the new stuff, in my opinion. So yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll be doing some other maintenance on this. I'll probably do a video. One thing, it was about a year ago, I want to say, that I got this machine, and when I did an oil change on it, I used 10W30 oil. The manual says to either use straight 30 or 5W20. So that's going to be a big thing. We'll be looking at how that oil looks when I pull it out and replace it. I'm actually going to do 1030 again. Because I think whenever I check it, the oil seems to look pretty good. It doesn't look like it's like extremely dirty or anything like that. So I think I've had good results with it. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Any questions or anything, of course, let me know. Other than that, thanks for watching. Have a good one.